Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Yesterday I saw a flood of videos here on YouTube about the announcement that Alberto Del Rio, now known as Alberto Beltran, is going to be heading over and debuting for Ring of Honor in 2015. I didn't watch a lot of these videos. I don't know if they were made mostly for people to be spreading the announcement or if they were spreading the cheer of Alberto Del Rio, having a place to wrestle. Alberto Del Rio, to me, honestly, was a guy in WWE that didn't have a lot of fanfare. It seemed like every time he came out on WWE television, this guy had just a bad amount of heat on him as being a WWE superstar. Nobody liked him as champion. Nobody liked him as a guy that was going after the championship. I think when he came in 2011, and he was saying that he was on his quest to win the World Heavyweight Championship, that it was his destiny, and then he went on to win the Royal Rumble. And from there, he main evented, or I guess he didn't even main event. He was in the opening match with Edge, WrestleMania 27. It seemed like somewhere after that, it all went south on him. The amount of fans that he did have really went down. Very few fans really stuck with him. I really liked Alberto Del Rio when he was in WWE. I can understand why a lot of people thought that he was boring and that he didn't really have a lot of fanfare behind him. I thought as far as guys, kicking each other in the other head, I thought that was, one of the most exciting things about the Del Rio's matches. Somehow he perfected this kick to where it sounded like he was really, just kicking the shit out of some guy right in the back of their head. But to me, it's sort of funny to me how Alberto Del Rio now is going to be signing for, or going to be wrestling for Ring of Honor, and all of a sudden now he's going to be like the hottest thing there is in professional wrestling. To me, honestly, Ring of Honor, I don't ever watch their television. If it was on television where I was at, I think it would be a whole lot easier to watch. I know that people will tell me on Thursdays, at ROH Wrestling, they upload the television shows so you're able to follow along with it. There was a good amount of people who watched the Ring of Honor pay-per-view that was on last Sunday, where Adam Cole fought against Jay Briscoe. I know there was some problem with the iPay-per-view feed, as well as some people with the regular pay-per-view feed cutting out before the end of the show actually happening, and then some people with the iPay-per-view having the same trouble that Ring of Honor has never really been able to perfect, is being able to keep the show going as it's up for the whole time. It seems to be like, just somewhere throughout the show, the feed will cut out, and then you have to wait for the show to buffer, and then you've missed a good portion of the show, and it just sucks that they've been able to do that. Honestly, in my mind, I don't understand why people are really going crazy about Del Rio going to Ring of Honor. It just seems to me that at least Ring of Honor is making an effort to become a bigger company inside of the United States right now. They have AJ Styles, who wrestles for them on a regular basis, I guess you can say, and Del Rio going there is going to add a little bit of sunshine to their place. But as of right now, I mean, the wrestling in the United States, I don't know what state it's really at, to me, honestly. But I just don't understand how everybody who hated Del Rio wrestling in WWE all of a sudden now is just like up in arms, like, yeah, he's going, when a lot of people know there's no way in the world they're ever going to watch Ring of Honor. I go to the Ring of Honor shows WrestleMania weekend. It's one of the funnest shows I go to. I buy the greatest hits of Ring of Honor to watch the older matches that were there. Ring of Honor has one of the best matches I've ever seen from Kevin Steen and El Generico. I believe it's the Final Battle from New York, where Kevin Steen had to lead the company for a good amount of time. But it just, to me, with so much other wrestling there is, I've sort of told myself, PWG, they on average, they normally only come out with one DVD a month. And I think that, putting $20 into the, watching wrestling every month isn't that bad, especially with me not having cable bill coming, that I can go out and do that. Last night, after watching the NXT show, I promised myself that, NXT is on Thursdays. It's on the NXT, or it's on the WWE Network. It's not going to be that hard to really sit down for an hour every Thursday and watch this show. So let's get into this. I remember watching the NXT special last time, and it was the last couple of things, and they had, that one was the 4-way, and really liking what they were doing, and telling myself that I would probably like this a lot more if I watched the television that led up to this, to seeing what was going down. And I know a lot of people were really into what happened at the end of the NXT special, basically with Kevin Owens attacking Sami Zayn, and everybody's saying it's like 2010 Ring of Honor again, and they're going to relive, the biggest storyline that they've ever been involved in, basically using everybody knowing how great of friends they are, and basically now they're enemies, and Owens wants to make a name for himself going after the NXT Championship, which will probably shoot him up to the WWE main roster sooner than later. Of course, you also had, Prince Devitt. That was honestly the first time I ever got to see him wrestle. As well as that, you had Kenta. You didn't get to see a lot from Kenta in that match. The place went crazy when he set up the GTS. But, being able to see those guys wrestle more often will probably be great, especially with the Ascension getting called up sooner than later. And they're a tag team that all I know is they've been down there for a long time, and they were sort of like the demolition team that nobody could beat. And now it seems like getting their call up, and now that they're, being there, I won't even know who they are, and they've been around forever and ever. So, sort of relating, Alberto Del Rio going, and signing, with Ring of Honor. I will talk about, Drew Galloway, who's been just about everywhere. He wrestles at indies all throughout, the world pretty much, since being let go, and he's going to try and make it a point to show how great of a wrestler is, to sort of show WWE that they made a mistake in order to bring him back sooner than later. Guys getting released from the mid-card have a very small shot at being brought back. I can think of Chris Masters off the top of my head as the one guy from the last 5 years. With NXT being so strong and having so many names down there, those spots get filled as soon as people get dropped. And, of course, I think most people might know Drew Galloway has gone on and he won the Evolve Championship. I don't know if he still has it or not. He had it a few months back when he came to my area, and he wrestled an independent match, and it was really good. But I just thought it was crazy when, basically during the intermission of the show, one of the local wrestlers walked up and challenged Drew Galloway to have a match that night, and for it to be for the Evolve Championship, and Galloway held it up saying he was a fighting champion and he would put the title on the line. And, everybody loves the guy since he left WWE, but he could have been holding up any championship in the world, because I don't even think half of the people there knew what the Evolve Championship is. I've never watched Evolve. All I know about his Evolve is from reading the sheets and hearing stories about him and things like that he won the title so fast, and he's going to be, Gabe's new guy. But he's another guy that just seems like, everybody's hot on this guy because he's not in WWE, and, they want to prove him wrong. But then when he was in WWE, nobody wanted to cheer for him as well. So Del Rio going to ROH is a risky situation. It could be a lot of like when Jeff Hardy went to ROH for the first time, everybody booed him and told him that, they wanted his brother and they didn't want him. They wanted the real wrestling. They didn't want it to be just, flashy sort of gimmicks and things like that. I think Ring of Honor's evolved a lot since then. I'm just hoping that when he goes in there, he gets a great response and he has great matches that can build him back up to the point. I don't think he'll ever go back to WWE. I think the way that he left is sort of a bad situation, but he's sort of going to be living the life a lot like Matt Hardy or AJ Styles, who are very outspoken about they make more money and they have an easier schedule now that they wrestle the independents, making more money there instead of being held down by WWE about where they can work and how much they can make. They go out there and they get their flat rate for going to the shows. They don't have to pay for transportation. They do their gimmick table where they sell T-shirts for $20. They sign autographs for $10. They just money coming in hand over fist, left and right, and they're able to live their lives. Of course, Del Rio, wrestling down there in Mexico, is their champion right now. Had a rough little start, but I think they were just setting up the story of, he is the guy that can be beat now that he is the champion. He's going to be having guys thrown at him left and right, and you have to see, who's going to be able to beat him. And he's going to be a fighting champion. A lot like the one Mexican hero that they were trying to build him up to a couple of years ago, when he, beat Big Show on SmackDown for the championship, and then he was going to go on at 29 and fight the American Patriot, Jack Swagger, and the whole turn never really worked out. But we'll see what goes down. Del Rio to Ring of Honor could be a big deal, more than likely in my mind. I don't think it'll be huge.